All right, so I got a question for, well, two groups of people really, and I'm sure these groups kind of meld together very well. Trump supporters and people like myself who see a problem with us importing via refugee programs and immigration, but importing people from an area of the world where by and large, because of their politics, their religion, their societal structure, they are more likely to just hate the United States. Okay? If you're a part of either of those two groups, and if you're a Trump supporter, you're probably a part of both of those groups, but those groups are not necessarily mutually exclusive, right? But if you're a part of one of those two groups, you either like Trump or you see a problem with mass immigration and bringing people into the country who have a higher likelihood of actually hating this country, I want to ask you a question. So, the Supreme Court just recently ruled that the travel ban by the Trump administration that he's been pushing for 10 months now is constitutional. It is something that he can do. Now, I'm not going to look at this particular issue and ask the question I'm going to ask from the point of view of whether or not we think it's a win that the president was allowed to do something via executive order or to push for this type of travel ban, because I really don't care, and I don't think most of us really care. Do we really like that the president can do whatever he wants to do whenever he wants to do it? I mean, most of us don't. We didn't like it when Obama was doing it. I guess it's constitutional. That's fine. I don't really care that that's a personal win for Trump, right? Like, that doesn't concern me. My bigger concern is the fact that, you know, we're allowing people to come into the country who, you know, might hate us. And some of those people might want to do bad things to U.S. citizens. That's my problem. That's the root of the issue here. Yay, Trump got a win. Okay, whatever. But I want to ask the question, does this travel ban, does Trump being able to now do this, does that really mean anything? I mean, honestly, from the perspective of what Trump was trying to do, what the administration was trying to do, what they were actually lobbying for, does this do anything to solve the problem that they said they wanted to solve? No, it doesn't, because if you'll remember, the whole point of this travel ban, which was originally supposed to be a 90-day, 3-month travel ban, okay? It would have lasted from February up into May, all right? That was it. It was a 90-day travel ban, and it was supposed to give them time to figure out how to solve this problem of refugees and people immigrating from areas of the world where they hate us, and try to figure out how to better weed out the people that might be dangerous. It was to give them 90 days to do that, while at the same time not having more people potentially coming in while they're trying to solve this problem, right? So they needed to solve a problem, and while we're trying to solve this problem, let's not potentially bring more problems into the country. Well, that didn't happen, okay? People were still immigrating in, all right? They've been doing it for the last 10 months, okay? But that should not have prevented them from trying to still solve the problem. And that's the problem I see here, is basically it was kind of one of those things where, well, we want a travel ban so we can solve this problem, but until we get the travel ban, we're not even going to try and solve the problem. Because they haven't solved the problem. They haven't figured it out. They've had 10 months and unlimited resources via our tax dollars to try and figure out how to correct this problem. Ban or no ban, they should have still been working on the problem. Where's our solution? They said they needed 90 days to come up with a solution. That was 10 months ago. Now, not being able to get a travel ban should not have prevented them from still having the manpower and resources to work on said problem. So, what does this travel ban really do? What does it really mean? In the end, nothing. It just supports Trump's right to say that, you know, he can call off travel and immigration and refugees and whatever else from certain parts of the world. That's fine. That's great. I mean, it's a power we understood he had already, but it took 10 months and going to the Supreme Court to finally cement that in stone, right? But in the end, it didn't solve the problem. The whole reason he wanted to do it in the first place was to give them the time, the 90 days they needed to solve the problem. Well, they still haven't solved the problem. It's been 10 months. So the travel ban is meaningless. It's pointless. It doesn't have anything to do with the actual root problem, the root cause, which is figuring out a way to have people be able to immigrate into our country, to be able to partake in refugee programs where there really are people that are really suffering. due to the politics and the religion and the socioeconomic problems in their region that might really need our help. You know, it's good to help people. It's not a bad thing to want to help people. But it's also not a bad thing to want to make sure we're not getting bad apples in that batch as well, especially from an area of the world that hates us. It doesn't solve that problem. They still haven't solved the problem. People got so wrapped up in whether or not Trump can or cannot have a travel ban, and they got so much on the Trump train wagon that they forgot the whole point was to solve a specific problem, to come up with a better vetting system. And they didn't do it. They've had plenty of time to do it. They said they needed 90 days, right? They said they needed 3 months. They've had 10 months to do it, and they haven't done anything. Nothing. They haven't solved the problem. If they had solved the problem, they wouldn't still need this travel ban. They wouldn't still be pushing for a travel ban if they've solved the problem. So in the end, Trump supporters, people like myself that actually care about not importing a bunch of bad apples who want to do us harm, in the end, what does this actually accomplish? What did it actually do that the Supreme Court finally said that Trump can enforce a travel ban?